What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Early Edge. We are brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. There is a lot going on in the chat. We've got a guy in the first round lead at the Open Championship. However, I don't know if that's going to hold. He's in a share nonetheless. A lot going on. We got the Barracuda Championship starting up. We got NBA Summer League. We got soccer. We got NFL futures. And oh, by the way, hit the like button because we've got an NFL division future donkey parlay coming onto this show. And I've already caught a sneak peek of it. Looks pretty good to me. Let's see how yesterday looks, though. Recap screen, not a lot going on this week. We get baseball back tomorrow. We go 2-1. Shout out to Larry Hartstein for hitting the Summer League play. Calvin goes 1 for 2. We got another Summer League play today, which must mean we've got Larry Hartstein back today. So let's bring in the stars of the show. We got Larry Hartstein. We got Mike McClure, who has that donkey parlay. We got Tom Casale, who I believe has a college football ATS play. And then, of course, we got Buckets. Buckets, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Sia. We finally broke that cold streak when I was on earlier this week. And not only do I have a soccer play for everyone, I've got a second soccer play from our boy, the Guru, stepping in from home. Can't be on the show, but he's still giving out plays for us all. Glad to be here.
Will I be able to pronounce either of the plays?
No.
Fantastic. Larry, a shout out to you, Summer League. Listen, we talked on the network show earlier this week about, hey, be careful with Summer League, but every once in a while there are some edges, correct?
Well, I wasn't happy early in the game, and Ben can attest to that. I was texting him in a fury over the Thunder, sitting out A.J. Mitchell and Nikola Topic. But luckily, the Pelicans also sat out one of their best players, and at least the main or one of the aspects of the handicap that OKC wanted to win by margin, that held true. So we'll give it another shot tonight.
All right. Out of time. He's saying good morning from Straya. Is that Australia? I'm trying to decipher where out of time is watching this from. Everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting the like button. Tom Casale, we're 49 days away from NFL season, which must mean we're about, 35 away from college football season.
Yeah, hey, I'm going on vacation next week, and when I get back, it's almost August, and you know what August is? That's football season. We have football in August, so that counts. And we're close, and it's there's some things on the board that are attractive right now, and I think you'll see some lines change, but we're getting there.
Richard Pierre in the chat says, "Wow, the Mount Rushmore of the early edge." Mike, you're in first position there. How you feeling today? And did I overpromise? Do you have a donkey parlay for us today?
I do have a donkey parlay. I'm good watching a little of the Open Championship. Mixed bag, as always. It's what you get at the Open Championship. Loving what I'm seeing, though. Loving that we are close to football season. And I did take a peek at the rundown. I know Tom is giving out a pick. It is a pick that I absolutely love, and I don't think the number is going to last more than another couple days. I think it will be... Yeah, I'm not going to give it away, but I think that number is not lasting at all. So I am in full agreement on that.
Well, we're gonna get to Tom's pick in just a second, but first we got to go to the thing I'm going to fumble over when the recap screen shows up. Buckets, you've got a couple of soccer plays for us.
2 plays for us here, both of these taking place this afternoon. So we've got these same day wagers, and we're going to start with the Europa Conference matchup between HJK Helsinki taking on NSI Runavik. And we're taking HJK over 2.5 team total at -135. I understand there's a little bit of juice here, but frankly, I don't think it's going to matter. Helsinki in the first leg were -280 favorites and lost 4-0 after just a silly little red card. And their manager has said in multiple interviews that they are out for blood in the second leg. Playing at home, HJK has seen 9 of their last 10 home matches go over 2.5 goals. They are the better team with the better depth, out for revenge, and they still have a chance to cover the aggregate in the second leg. So I love this first wager. Then for our second bet, we've got a matchup between Selch and Sabah Mazahir. And I texted our boy, the Guru, and I said, Martin, I know you can't be there today, but I need you to channel your energy, to channel your accent, to channel everything to give the chat a best bet from you. So the Guru's best bet for all of the UEFA matches today is both teams to score in this one at -130. And it makes sense. Out of all of the Europa League first round matches, this was the only one that hit both teams to score. We saw a 3-2 shootout. And if you look at how Selch play, they have now seen both teams to score hit in 14 of their last 16 matches across all competitions. They're good enough to score multiple goals here, and Sabah will be going vicious on the counter, Sia. I love goals here, and more importantly, so does the Guru.
Well, I think there's some people disappointed that you didn't do the Martin Green accent. I think they.
I
if
feel
you're
like
gonna
I'd get in
channel
trouble.
him-
I'd get
Yeah.
in trouble.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. That's always a slippery slope. All right, well let's transition from soccer to college football. It's never too soon to talk about a line, especially a line that might go away within the next 48 hours. Tom Casale, you've got a Mike McClure endorsement here, so talk to us about Texas.
Yeah, the first pick I gave out for the college football season is Texas +3 against Ohio State, and I really like it at 3. And I thought today would be a good day to give it out because I agree with Mike. You're starting to see a couple 2.5s pop now, and I don't know how much longer the 3 is going to last. For me, Texas is number 1 in my power rankings entering the season, and I have this game closer to pick. There's questions on both sides. They both lose talent to the NFL. But I just give the Longhorns. Julian Sayin might be a great quarterback one day, but I think Arch Manning. I give them the edge at quarterback right now. I give Texas the edge on defense. Ohio State not only lost a ton of starters on defense, but team leaders, guys who are really locker room guys. So this is a huge, huge game to kick off the season, right? It's a different world in college in college football. I think one of the reasons I gave out Clemson a couple months ago to win it all with I thought there was little value. There's like 2 teams returning starters. It's Clemson and Kennesaw State. Like everybody else has like 5 starters returning because of the transfer portal nil and everything. But to me, Texas top to bottom right now has the most talented roster. And I think getting 3 points in a game that could be this close, I got to jump on the Longhorns. I actually make them the slightest of road favorites in the opener, so there's value at the Longhorns +3 right now. If you like Texas, get it now. If you like Ohio State, wait.
Mike, let's hear your any follow-up here. I mean, obviously, Tom just gave a pretty thorough explanation of why he likes the pick.
Yeah, it's the depth, the athleticism, the experience. Look, I think Arch Manning could have played quarterback the entire season last year for any number of schools at this level, not just any school at this elite level. So it's rare where you get a situation where you are, quote unquote, making a quarterback change, but it's one that is certainly a move that is not going back in any way. And I believe it's actually going forward with his ability to run the football as well. And defensively, I think they're going to be the best team defensively. And I think Ohio State, again, I think they take a little bit of a step back early. The fact that this is, that opening game, I think that is significant. And you look at Ohio State's schedule, like, I don't like to make this argument much, but like, after this game, it doesn't really matter until Penn State and then the Michigan game. Like if they drop this game, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, totally fair. All right. Let's move along. I do want to give a shout out to Ricardo Hernandez. He says, let's go. First live show since I work mornings. Hello from the West Coast. Ricardo, thanks for joining us live. And I know you can't join us live all the time, but we appreciate you listening to the podcast or watching the show after the fact. And Ricardo, if you and everybody else could review this podcast, that would be absolutely amazing. Don't forget to go to Apple or Spotify. You just scroll down, hit 5 stars, and maybe say a few words about why you like the early edge, or for that matter, the early wedge. I do want to remind everybody, too, on the network, we've got the early edge, CBS Sports Network, at 12 o'clock today. And then at 1 o'clock, we've got the early wedge. It's going to be a special early wedge during the close of round 1 of the Open Championship. So 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, you can see us on CBS Sports Network. How about a BetMGM promo before we get to more picks? BetMGM account holders get a no-sweat token to apply to any bet on any sport. That's right, any bet on any sport. If your bet loses, you'll receive a bonus bet back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get to that division donkey parlay. We got to get to Summer League. I've got a Barracuda 3-ball that I got to get to you. We're going to cover it all right after this message from our partners.
We need your sports news anywhere.
We've got breaking news to bring you.
Then get your sports anytime you want them. Big trade news overnight to discuss.
Because we know you need sports all the time.
A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
A legend adds to their legacy.
We're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
CBS Sports HQ, anywhere, anytime, all the time.
We are back on the early edge, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Very, very quick reminder, Fantasy Football Today Show is hosting a draft-a-thon to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. To help raise money, we are auctioning off a chance to come onto the early edge and give out a pick yourself. We'll drop the link in the chat and in the YouTube and Spotify comment section so you can help us raise money and come onto the early edge to give out your pick live. Don't forget about the Fantasy Football Leagues that we're going to put out there next week that you can join as well. Let's get to some more picks. Mike, before I give out my golf pick, I want to get to some more football. Talk to me about your donkey division parlay.
All right. Those that have been with the early edge for a while know we have donkey parlays often in football. I like to play them every year in the futures market as well. Simply a little division winner parlay. Yes, I know I am quoted as saying parlays and animals should all have 4 legs maximum. We've broken that rule here. We're going 5. But I am stacking a few of the favorites that I really like, that I think are deserving favorites, starting with the Buffalo Bills. I don't see anyone remotely close to challenging in the AFC East. I think that number will be minus 500 by week 5 of the season and only going one way. Baltimore Ravens. Yes, you've got the challenger in the Cincinnati Bengals. You could make an argument for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Ravens might have the best roster in the NFL, though, on both sides of the football. So next, Kansas City Chiefs. While their dominance is certainly trending the other way, they still have Patrick Mahomes. They still have a healthy receiving core and a pretty solid defense. So I'm back in Kansas City at near even money here. The Eagles, I think this one is a big misprice. I think that Washington, while they had a great year, I think they're a distance away. And I think the Eagles have a large edge over the Cowboys. So finally, the Tampa Bay Bucks. I know Larry and a few others like this play individually as a solo play. I absolutely love it as well. Put these all together, plus 1735. You'll find this anywhere in the market from 12.5 to 1 to essentially almost 17.5 to 1. I do believe it should be closer to that 12.5 to 1 range.
This is a fun one. And I do have a question. I'm going to go around the horn. And Mike, I'm going to close the question with you. But Larry, let me start with you. Which one of these it could potentially ruin the parlay? Like, which one do you feel least comfortable about? I'm just curious.
Got to be the Chiefs, because I know you and I are both very high on the Broncos. I think they are ascending. I think the Chiefs are finally going to take a step back. You know, that all those miracle wins last season, they're going to be good. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're not collapsing or anything like that. But I think that's where this one could fall.
I think it's so appropriate that Mike had a Kansas City Chiefs helmet in his hand as you were doubting the Chiefs. I don't even know how that happened. Tom, which one of these legs? I really think I like a lot of these legs. I mean, we could rank them if we wanted to, but which one, Tom, do you maybe think is the weakest or the one you're most worried about?
Well, for me, it would be the Bucks, only because you're looking at the other 4 dominant teams, right? And for me, the Bucks are good, but then you get the Falcons, you got the Panthers. That's one of those divisions where I could see it going a number of different ways. While I would certainly make Tampa Bay the favorite, out of those picks, that's the one that would give me the most worry heading into the season.
And Mike, is there one of these legs where you attached and you were like, I'm not so, I mean, obviously you're confident about all these, but would it be, I mean, I love what you said about the Bills and the Ravens. I think the Chiefs end up winning the division. I agree with you on the Eagles. Like, by process of elimination, wouldn't it have to be the Bucks? That's the one that's the most tenuous, if you will.
Yeah, it's certainly, from an odds standpoint as well. I think you could find the Bucks as high as like plus 110 in a few places. So yeah, I think that if you agree with the market there, it's definitely the one that could give the most trouble. Logically, I still will say the Chiefs, only because I do believe that the Chargers and the Broncos could be legitimate playoff teams at any given moment. But of course, it clearly comes down to health, right? If knowing Patrick Mahomes is healthy, the weapons are healthy, that is where I'm going to be on it. The other thing I would say, not a popular betting strategy for a lot of people. I like to do it still. I would certainly also recommend round robining this if your sportsbook allows it. I would be very stunned if you weren't still profitable via a round robin. I think that if this misses, it misses by 1, not by multiple.
Okay, fair enough. We got our first donkey parlay of the NFL season. We got another NFL future coming up. Larry, you had something else as well.
Yeah, expecting something very nice in the mail today from the CBS Sports marketing team. Everyone who was at the Yankees event got some nice swag, including this hat and shirts and other items. Well, there were some items left over. They're shipping them to me, and I wanted to get with you and the guys and Ben and figure out how we are going to send those to some of our viewers who were unable to make it because of where they live across the country.
Yeah, and I got to say,
like contests or prizes, how we're going to do that.
The merchandise was really nice too. It wasn't like, when you get a shirt and you're worried that like that it's going to be the cheap cotton, the cotton that feels like cardboard. Like these are like the nice cotton shirts, and the hats are really great. The hat that Larry's wearing is great. There were some other things as well. If you went to that event, like Richard Pierre was there, Ian Lights Out, there was so many others. Doro was there. I don't know. Like I like the idea of getting this merch out and having people kind of take pictures with the shirt on. So maybe that's something we can kind of promote later when we get more of the merch out there. Let's see. Let me go to my golf pick as I'm just kind of. Gus Dawson says, "Sia the cotton connoisseur." Yeah, you knew I would be, right? Given my wardrobe. I'm going to go to a Barracuda 3-ball. We've got a lot of golf bets we're sweating right now from yesterday. A lot of these guys are just teeing off the Open Championship, so we'll see what happens. But I'm going to go to the Barracuda. If you're in the SportsLine Discord, or if you follow me on Twitter, or if you watch the Best Bets show, you know that I put out Barracuda outrights. And then yesterday I tweeted out first round leaders. Again, I put that in the SportsLine Discord as well. I'm going to go with a Barracuda 3-ball later this afternoon. I think this one starts in a couple of hours. Vince Whaley, plus 100. This is a 3-ball at even money. So usually, our 3-balls, like the one we've got going with Christian Bezuidenhout at the Open Championship, we usually like better plus money than plus 100. But there's a reason for this. Mac Meisner and Dan Bradbury just aren't the golfers right now, or really ever, that Vince Whaley is. Vince Whaley is perfect for this track, and that's showcased by how well he's done in this Stableford scoring system at the Barracuda over the last few times he's played here. I mean, he's been really, really good here. And Mac Meisner and Dan Bradbury, they are just missing cuts lately. And I just don't think they measure up to a guy that's one of the top at the leaderboard. The only reason I don't have Vince Whaley as an outright is because his odds are too short. And I took 130 to one guy, 160 to one guy, and everybody else was in the 80 to 110 to one range. I really like Vince Whaley in this matchup. I don't think Meisner and Bradbury are really going to challenge. It is a weird scoring system. It is a weird setup. So anything can happen. This is a setup where you're actually getting points for birdies. You're getting points for eagles. But Vince Whaley is perfect for that setup. So that's part of the reason why he's one of the favorites in this tournament. Give me Vince Whaley plus 100 in a 3-ball over Meisner and Bradbury. I believe BetMGM and DraftKings have this. I don't know that FanDuel has it. So if you're looking on FanDuel, you might not see it. I didn't see it. The best odds are over at BetMGM. They have the plus 100. I believe DK has the minus 105. I would certainly play it at minus 105 as well. A lot of golf over the next few days too. So we're not just talking Open Championship. We're talking these alt events, because we absolutely smash in these alt events like we saw last week with William Mao. All right, let's get to some Summer League, Larry Hartstein, and let's get to another NFL future.
Let's go with the Clippers laying 9.5 at DraftKings over the Nuggets. The Clippers 3-0, the Nuggets 0-3. And the key, as we talked about yesterday, is you have to finish 4-0 to make the top 4, because there's so many teams, only 4 make the semifinals. And then you have to have a good point differential. So the Clippers need to make this a blowout win if they have any chance of being in the Final Four. This worked with OKC last night. And the Clippers have, some of those second and third year players that are excellent in Summer League. None other than Jordan Miller, averaged 25 in the Summer League last year, was back and forth to the G League, played some with the NBA. Now he's on the Summer League team. He actually got waived. So the team said, we don't want to guarantee your contract. We want to save $350K, but you're still on our Summer League team. So this guy is trying to prove that the Clippers should sign him back, or any other team. He's playing highly motivated basketball, averaging over 20 a game. They also have the rookie out of Penn State, Niederhauser, a 7-footer who's going to back up Zubats. He was very impressive against the Lakers. Go watch some of those highlights. And I laid 9.5 with the Clippers, but I am seeing 10s and 10.5s in the market. This is available at DraftKings. And then an NFL future that I've been talking about for a while. I'm going to keep banging the drum that the Browns have a chance to be the worst team in football this season. Under 5.5 wins is minus 140, higher at many books, but you can still find minus 140. The opening schedule is ridiculous. They have the Bengals. They have all 3 of their division rivals, including the Steelers, after a game in London with no bye. And they have the 3 best teams in the NFC North, and the Packers, Vikings, Lions. I think it's an 0-6 start. Maybe 1-7 when they get to the bye. And then do they say Dylan Gabriel, Shadur Sanders? Let's see what we have. They're setting up for next year. That's why they made the trade for Jacksonville. They have 2 first-round picks next season. I love the fact that Stefanski and Andrew Berry got their contract extensions before last season, so it's not a win or else season for them. I mean, what do you have on offense aside from Jerry Jeudy? Joe Flacco to Jerry Jeudy, not going to be enough, not in that division. And second toughest schedule overall. Only the Giants have a harder schedule if you base that on opponents' win totals.
All right. I have a follow-up to a NFL win total under. Mike, I want to ask you about what you think about the Browns. By the way, I did see somebody talking about my 3-ball and how it wasn't over at DK. It's possible that they pulled this when the tournament started. I'm still checking on BetMGM. If somebody else can check on BetMGM to see if they can bet my 3-ball, please let me know. Because of the weird scoring system, it's possible that they decided to, once the tournament started, pull some of these like first round leader and things of that nature. I think it's still on BetMGM. So if somebody could just double check my work there, that would be helpful. Mike, any thoughts on the Browns under 5.5? Oh, I think you're on mute.
So I was pulling my buckets thinking about him. So look, I think the Browns are not very good. And I think the schedule is extremely difficult, as you see right there. I mean, which game in the first 4, for example, are they going to be remotely competitive in? I think the answer is 0.
Mm-hmm.
Could they be competitive at Minnesota at home? Yes. I don't think they're winning at Pittsburgh. Can they beat Miami? Yeah, I think Miami's going to be bad. Like they could have a little run there where they hit Miami, New England by Jets. So like that's their window. If they're going over, they have to run hot in that little window. So I will lean under, not knowing what the quarterback situation looks like, but not trusting that it's going to be a good one. I would lean under. I think it's probably 4 or 5.
Tom, have you taken a look at the Browns? I gotta say, I like another under 5.5, maybe even as much, if not more. I like the Titans under 5.5 wins as well. Tom, any opinion on that or on the Cleveland Browns this year?
Yeah, here's the thing about the Browns. You look at some of these college teams, and they're still deciding who their quarterback's going to be, right? That's not the end of the world in college. They're deciding between 2 5-star guys. This is an NFL team. We're heading into August. They have no idea who their quarterback's going to be. So, listen, I'm certainly not going to bet over. I think, to Mike's point, the defense will be good for the first half of the year. But if that offense struggles, they're going to get run down as the season goes on, and they're going to have injuries. So Mike is 100% right. There's that window there where they got to have a lot of success to hit this over.
Yeah, fair enough. As far as the Titans, I will say they do play the Browns this year, and they get to play the Saints. Let's call that a split. They got to play the AFC West, I believe, and the NFC West. I think the Titans, I don't think Cam Ward's going to have a good season at all. I don't think he has good weapons. I don't think the defense is good. I don't think there's a position group that's even decent on this Titans team. It wouldn't shock me at all if the Titans end up with 3 wins. It really wouldn't. I mean, famous last words, maybe they end up with 7 or 8, but I don't think Cam Ward is that guy that's going to immediately propel them like Jaden Daniels is going to. All right, yeah, I think people are kind of checking in on my bet. It looks like Bet365 has it. But somehow BetMGM pulled it. It looks like you can bet outright still for the Barracuda. Maybe they'll bring it back. If they do, we will let you know. But I apologize, because if you can't bet that play, it's really no good to you. So if it comes back, I will let you know. But yeah, it looks like the timing was just off, because those were up about, 10 minutes ago, and they just got pulled because the tournament just got started. Any questions in the chat, gentlemen, that we saw? Mike, anything in the chat that you saw?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing that I'm seeing right now. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Tom, anything in the chat that you saw? I don't think there was a ton of questions. There might have been some soccer questions. Buckets had to bounce to attend to Freya. That's why he escaped here. Browns worse than the Jets? ? Says Richard Pierre.
Wholeheartedly, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Jets are going to be an interesting one under Aaron Glenn. Justin Fields. I'm kind of stunned that they ended up with Justin Fields as their quarterback. Like that was the plan, but here we are. Tough to be a Jets fan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that will do it. Let's bring up the recap screen before we get everybody out of here. I've got this Barracuda 3-ball, but I'm not sure you can bet it. Again, the Barracudas, because it's kind of a different type of tournament, I guess these sports books, for whatever reason, are shy to. I think it's an oversight by them, because I don't know why this would affect the matchups in the 3-balls. But if you can find this, it looks like Bet365 has it, but some of these other books like BetMGM and DK just pulled it. If you can find it, I do like Vincent Whaley plus 100 over Meisner and Bradbury. Obviously, this won't be on the recap screen if nobody can bet it, so we'll just have to wait and see on that. We got an NBA Summer League. Larry trying to go 2-0 over the last two. Clippers minus 9.5 over the Nuggets at minus 110. And an NFL future, Browns under 5.5 wins at minus 140. Again, I kind of like the Titans under 5.5 wins as well. Then we go to Buckets plays. HJK Helsinki versus NSI Runavik. HJK over 2.5 team total at minus 135. And then NK Selje versus FC Saba Masazir. Both teams to score minus 130. Nailed it. And then a division winners donkey parlay courtesy of Mike. It must be football season. Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, Eagles, Bucks to win their division at plus 1735. He did recommend, if you can, to maybe round robin this because he thinks if one of these legs fails, it'll literally just be the one as opposed to more than that. All right, Texas plus 3 versus Ohio State. We think that line's going to move, so get it now, says Tom Casale and Mike McClure. No SportsLine picks today. Again, kind of a soft week, but we get baseball back tomorrow. We pretty much get the regularly scheduled programming. And of course, BPE Friday back tomorrow as well, where I'm sure we're going to have a lot more golf picks with Open Championship. Liggs Patterson will be back, but we'll be talking MLB. We'll have more SportsLine picks and just more picks in general. So any live betting shows coming up? Ben, maybe you could address this because I think we have one in the next couple of weeks. I don't know if you want to pop on. You don't have to, Ben, but I think we have one coming up within the next couple of weeks. Right, Ben?
Yeah, we're trying to get one either for Tuesday for a night slate or Wednesday for the day slate. There's like 4 games that start at noon. So trying to put something together, but we'll definitely have a live betting show for baseball now that baseball's fully back. All-Star break's over. We're back at it.
We will absolutely update you on that. We're definitely going to have some more live shows coming up. So thank you for that question. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get you out of here on behalf of Larry, on behalf of Tom, Mike, and of course, Ben on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s and buckets, and Freya and Gipper's picks and Taylor DeHart and CID and KC3, Mr. Big, Eric David's in the chat, Joey B. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Thanks for hitting the like button. Maybe we'll see you on CBS Sports Network at 12 o'clock and or 1 o'clock. Again, 12 o'clock is the early edge and 1 o'clock is the early wedge. Make sure you're subscribed to the SportsLine YouTube page. We'll see you tomorrow for BPE Friday. We rest our case.